They can DM you every now and then to check in, when really they just want to see if you are still succeeding or failing. In either outcome, they'd envy and silently pray for your downfall either way. Do not take these DMs and think that they really care, because if they had, where were they on the days you were not with yourself? Where were they when you
Mm,
took those social media breaks? Where were they on the days
mm,
after school when you had nothing else to do? You were never your friend's first option, not even their second. You were so lucky enough to have your third option. But when they're no longer there, who do you turn to then? To truly know who your friend is, it is as simple as a TikTok questionnaire. Who would you bring on overnight trips, or who would you invite to your home? They could be your best friend, but to them, you're their acquaintance. We never had that friend. The friend you'd call hours on end, the friend you'd pray with, cry with, sleep with. We never had that friend we'd run away to. No one we never knew gave us the opportunity to be that friend. And the ones we felt like already had their own person. Friends are important. They are people who allow you to look at yourself from a different perspective. They are the ones who fill in those lonely parts of your days when you have nothing else to do. They are the ones you can share stories with. But the right friends are the most important. You cannot be your friend's therapist. You cannot be your friend's outlet. You cannot be your friend's idol. You just have to be your friend's friend. That definition is one who gives and gets support, who treats you well, who is just there to be there. There are boundaries friends can't cross. If the only thing in your friendship is them venting to you a trillion times, but when it is your turn, they barely listen, or when you plead to get a reply from them, but they're too busy hanging out with others who are more important, maybe you are not their first priority, and that is fine. Allah is your first priority anyway. However, when you constantly feel you have to chase them, run to them, catch their friendship,
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello to silent seekers. I'm Fatu.
I'm Yasmin, and you're listening to The
The
Silent
silent
Path.
path. So today we have a very important episode, and this episode is actually very, I feel like a lot of people need to hear this episode. I feel like it's something that not a lot of people like to talk about, and honestly, like, we all need to hear it because we're all stuck in these problems, in these places where we feel like we're not with the right friends. So here is your surroundings make you. And in this episode, we're just going to talk about like the importance of finding good friends, social media, all of this. And yeah, may Allah make it easy for us. I hope you learned something today and get ready.
I mean, inshallah.
So yeah, what is a good friend? Like, first off, what how can you define what a good friend is?
I feel like a good friend is someone that's with you, like, through the thick and thin. And when I say this, it's not like one's treating you like trash and you're just staying there. No, I mean, like, even when you show them your faults, they still accept you that way. Even when, and like, you're both are there for each other, you're both there to help each other grow as well. You don't necessarily have, I feel like a big misconception about friends is that you guys have to have the same interests. But that's so not the case. I feel like you both have to have a mission and a vision. Maybe that's similar, but you don't need to have the same interests. Like, oh, she loves Kanye, I love Kanye, we're best friends. No. Like, one can love Kanye, the other can love Taylor Swift and still be friends. So that's me personally. I feel like it's very important to have people there that can add to your life, that are not your life, that add to your life. What about you? Like, any.
Honestly, yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like a good friend is someone that like someone that you can like invite into your home. You know that you feel safe around, like, because you can have friends that you laugh and joke with, but at the same time, it's like when you're at your lowest or when you really need someone there, are like, ask yourself, like, the friends that you're constantly like hanging around 24/7, would you feel comfortable enough to tell them when you're feeling not okay or when you're at your lowest? I feel like the people that you can feel okay calling when you're at your lowest, those are really your good friends. Like, you're not changing yourself around them, like, you're not changing who you are, you're not trying to switch your personality to fit theirs. Like, exactly what Yasmin said, like, two friends do not have to have similar interests to be friends. Like, we can have different opinions on things, we can have, like, I can like different things, and yes, we can like different things, but that does not make us not friends. You know, I feel like it's the difference. There's that quote. It's like the phrase where it's like opposites attract. You know, opposites attract. So it's like we attract each other with our interests. And I feel comfortable enough to tell Yasmin, okay, when I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling upset, because I have this comfort with her. And I feel like a good friend is someone where you feel comfortable around. Guys, she's rolling her eyes right now. Maybe I should just like choose another friend because she obviously does not like me as her friend. So, I'm gonna do friendship applications. I'm Fatu.
Wow.
Let me know. My Instagram is realist.fatu. So, yeah, for me,
I'm
she's going
cutting
to be
that
rolling
part
her
out,
eyes.
guys. Basically, no, I'm very grateful to have Fatu in my life, and she knows that. She knows that. I'm just a hater, but she no, 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 no. But alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful to have a friend where it's like the motto of the friendship is like "Oh fil dunya wal akhirah." Alhamdulillah, because that's how it should be
Mm,
for real. Like we will, inshallah, we won't be enemies on the day of judgment. I mean, inshallah.
inshallah.
Actually, I'm curious to know what is that one type of friend that you cannot be friends with at all?
Like I feel like this is so common, especially in like New York, but it's like that friend that like for me, it's the boy crazy friend. And also like it's the boy crazy friend, but it's also like the friend that like changes like their personality when they're in front of like a group of other people. Like I cannot be friends with somebody who 24/7 like we're constantly like talking about a man. I'm a D1 man hater, but that type of friend, but like most importantly friends who change their personalities in front of like other people. Like for example, like we can be having a great time, but then there's a group of people and then that friend just comes in and they make you feel lesser than you are in front of others. They make you feel like your opinions don't matter, or like when you're stating facts, like anything you say is just like downright just not it. Like I'd rather have friends who can listen to what I say, and even if they have different opinions about it, they're not going to shame me for the things I like, and I'm not going to shame them for the things they like. And it's like those type of friends are ones that you gotta really gotta like look at and see that like they really just be hating on you because they're trying to be you. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just trying to be you. Like they're literally just like projecting. They see that you have something that they don't have, and they just want it. They just want it. And like going back to like the whole crazy one, it's like I want every single conversation to be meaningful. And it's like imagine I'm going through something and then my friend is over here talking about like the same thing over and over again. It's that's just my preference, honestly. But I would like to see what Yasmin's preference is. Like what do you think a bad friend is? Like what's one thing that you would think a bad friend has?
To be honest, like something I'm not gonna say they're a bad friend because my preference is more just personalized to me and how I am. But one of them is a low maintenance friend, and you're probably like, "What are you talking about?" But let me explain. It's the fact that like there are these friends that because they try to deem low maintenance, they try to
Mm-hmm.
make it seem like oh they can give low maintenance treatment just because of that. But I don't really
Mm-hmm.
like that because like if you are happy with a certain standard, that's fine. I will probably give you that or more even. But
Mm-hmm.
don't use that as an excuse to set my standard low. That's not how this works at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't do this. I don't really do that. I'm trying to be friends with more high achieving people. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
not in a way where like, oh, if you're broke, I don't want to be friends with you. No, not in that way. It's more of like you have to have a mission and a vision, because
Yeah.
that's very important to me. Also, a dishonest friend though, because something that I always
Mm-hmm.
preach about to my
Oh.
peers is if you're dishonest, honestly, I probably would not trust you again. And I say this only because I'm a very open minded person. If you tell me the truth, even if I don't like it, I will respect you because you keeping it real. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but the thing is, even if I don't want to hear it, it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I hate you. I'm gonna cut you off. No, like I'm a genuinely open minded person that tends to look in the good in people. So you have no reason to even lie to me. So then you out here lying over something. I don't like that at all. So I let people know that something that I genuinely need as an obligation in this friendship is the truth.
That's so true. Like that's actually really true. What I like picked up when you were talking is like I don't like how we people think that like wanting like a friend with emotional intelligence or wanting a friend that's like have a vision and a mission, a vision is like asking too much because that's crazy. Like how is that asking too much? Like
Mhm.
we're at like it's not like I'm saying that like, oh, like no, I'm not even gonna like try and like excuse myself. Listen, how is that asking for too much? I feel like people forget that emotional intelligence, emotional maturity is so important in a friendship. Like I feel like in yourself as well. Like having no emotional maturity in situations, like for example, like your friend can communicate something that she doesn't like that you're doing, and then like in this day and age, people are gonna automatically say, "Oh, she's fake for thinking that," or like, "Oh, like we're not friends anymore because she expressed her opinion." Like I feel like the best friendships is one where you can communicate things that are like hurting you in the friendship, or you can communicate like when you don't like something your friend did, and you communicate the problem instead of like arguing each other, you know? Like I heard this phrase, it was like argue the problem, not each other. Argue the problem. So it's like I feel like you're not asking for too much when you say you want a friend with emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, because it's so rare to have these days. Like people automatically think, oh, like for example, like if I cut off a friend, that's beef, or if I don't want to hang out one day because I feel kind of like because I'm doing something, it's like, oh, like she doesn't want to hang out with me, like this that, and the third. Like I feel like because of like the social standards and the social like the mindset of others this day and age, it's like emotional maturity is gone, but it's really not. It's really, really not. So that's just what I wanted to add on there. Like, don't feel like you're asking too much when you're asking for a friend with emotional maturity, because it's something that everybody needs these days. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's so hard to find. Like, even for me, that's why I said, like, don't lower my standards because I know
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. Like, if I exist, best believe other people like me exist, like, in a different format,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because I'm the only unique one. But, okay, no.
I'm
No, but the
dead.
point is like obviously there are people out there that are emotionally mature, and as Fatu
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, I do not know what's going on with this generation. Listen, I'm not trying to hate. This generation is a walking example of what not to be, because
Yeah, like no,
literally, I'm so sorry guys, like I'm so sorry because I'm part of
I'm
this
dead.
generation though. Like, I'm not even like, mind you guys, we're part of this generation. But you know what, it's not that you're asking too much, it's like you're asking the wrong person. It's like if you go to like Wendy's and you ask for like spaghetti. You gotta go to an Italian restaurant. So you gotta go to the right places, to the right person and ask this. You can't go
Exactly.
to Burger King and ask for 3 scoops of ice cream. They'll give you ice cream but not 3 scoops, that's for sure. So that's that. Plus, I feel like people have, like, mind you, since we're talking about normalizing things, I feel like people have literally underestimated the importance of having such friends, like such good friends in your life. I feel like people just be friends with anybody.
Honestly, I hear this phrase like the state of your room is the state of your mind, right? So it's like I feel like when you have a good friend, you know, listen, listen. The state of your room is the state of your mind. So for example, if you're hanging around the wrong people, right, you're going to like if for example if you're hanging around the wrong people in the wrong room with people who aren't you, who are doing things that you don't even like, who are constantly putting you down, I feel like and in the end you're going to start thinking of yourself in a bad and a negative way. You're going to like because you're surrounded by so much bad all the time, because they're putting these things in your head that you're lower than who you are, your mindset is going to end up changing. You're going to end up thinking, oh, like maybe this is where I'm supposed to be, you know, in this low life and with these low people who really don't care about me, you know. And it's like if you are surrounded by good people, people who literally will uplift you, who will take you to the masjid, who will pray with you, who will constantly make dua for you, or even like just generally be a good friend to you, I feel like that can also change your mindset as well. Like you'll start becoming a person who will start caring more about yourself and more about others. I feel like because you're surrounded by good people and good positive energy all the time, you'll start doing positive things. I feel like whether that's zakat, whether that's helping out others more, going to more community events, uplifting other people, finding other people who need that type of friendship as well. So it's like when you're surrounded by bad people, you will be doing bad. But when you're surrounded by good people, you will be doing good. And in the Quran it says like good men is for good women, good women is for good men. Yet like I feel like we can also take this interpretation for friendships as well. Like good friendships will make you a good person, but bad friendships you will become bad people, you know. And I feel like that's something important to share because I feel like not a lot of people see it. Because you're like I said, like I feel like I said in another episode where it was like in New York, a lot of people just hang around people for the fun, for the niazit, to just be around others and just have party around. But like when you're in a state of despair, like are these people really gonna be the ones to uplift you, you know? Like it's like you're only there for the fun, but can we get back on track? Those people won't get back on track with you. They're just there for the laughs and the giggles. But to be around the people that support you, that will take you out of the haram, that will uplift you to doing good things, help your iman grow, those are the people you surround yourself around. Having good people in your life can make you a good person. So continue to find that friendship, continue to search for it. If you don't have it now, wait, take some time off yourself, and maybe it'll come to you. Or go to it, go to that community, you know? I feel like it's something important to share as well. So, yeah.
That's true, to be honest. Like, it's very important to have that community with you. Like, it does, as Fatu mentioned, it does way more than you think it does. Like, truly. You know, it's also like how if you surround yourself with billionaires, you will become a billionaire. It's really like that. So don't underestimate the power of your environment, because you really do need to have the proper environment to flourish. Even plants are like this. If the plant is not in a proper environment to flourish, it will die. That's just how it is. So I feel like it's really important to work on your environment, whether it's the people you surround yourself with, what you consume, whether it's the food you're eating or the social media that you're consuming spiritually, even your room. Just clearing your room can do a big difference, like a big difference. It's like, as Fatu mentioned, the state of the room is the state of your mind. So I wanted to ask, since you always tell me how you talked to me about your past and how it was with your old friendships and everything, but I just wanted to ask, and I know she's a big fan of friendships, like friend groups, and like she knows that I know that how much she values it. So I wanted to ask, like, have you started achieving those dreams, like, oh, you have that friend group, or you have that one friend that you could really be close with?
Yes, honestly, alhamdulillah, I can say that I found a lot of friendships where I feel like myself. Like I can start with well, you of course. I feel like I found like a close friend where I can kind of be myself around, and we can really talk and communicate. And if I need a break from like a lot of other people, I can like come to you, and we'll take that break together. But then I also feel like when it comes to like group and community, like because this also goes to like the friendship mindset. It's like, yes, before, like I feel like I was not really in the right friendship, in the right community, in the right group. A lot of people, I always felt excluded, and it's not in a way where it's like, oh, they made me feel that way. Because sometimes it's not the friends that kind of like, it's not always a friendship that's like the bad part. It's just like sometimes you just can't really fit. There's some friendships where you just can't fit in, and that was low key me. Like there was friendships where I felt like I was always like excluded. Like they would talk about certain things, and I just never related. But here, I feel like, for example, like I know this is gonna sound crazy, but like I joined robotics, right? And in robotics, I feel kind of like I know if I feel kind of like closer because I always saw myself as like weird and quirky. Like I always knew that like I had like a nerd side to me, and I didn't. I just accepted that. And so when I joined robotics, I did not expect. Like I promise you. Okay, wait. I'm gonna tell a story. Like the first, because it wasn't even like, oh, like willingly. Like one of my friends were walking into the robotics saying they were gonna join the team, and I was getting ready to go to basketball practice, like in the first tryout. But instead, like I realized it wasn't the same day, so I had to like just wait for my friends in robotics. Literally, the robotics leader captain was asking me, "Oh, are you planning on joining robotics?" I screamed, "Heck no!" I was like, "I'm never gonna join robotics. I'll never do this." But when I walked into that room, like, and we just had the conversations going, and they were splurging everywhere. I seen the environment, and at first I still didn't feel like joining. But the second time I went to robotics for the second meeting, like everybody was talking to each other. Everybody felt welcoming. Like you can talk, and the room didn't go quiet. It's like there was so much laughter, so much smiles, and I felt included. I felt like these are my people. And it's not just like, oh, I can't. It's like I went to robotics not for the robots. Like I went for the community because they're really just like tight knit. They're cool. Like I don't even know how to build a robot chat. Like they had to put me in the marketing team because I was like, what? Like what? But it was really nice. So it's like I feel like the importance is like I said, I want to go back because I feel like that phrase is important. It's like it's not sometimes it's not the friendships that make you feel less. Sometimes it's just that sometimes you're in the wrong friend group. You just feel excluded. There's some friend groups that you really can't fit in no matter how hard you try. And for me, I just found that. I just found that. When did you realize that friendship was changing you for better or for worse?
To be honest, alhamdulillah, I never really had a friendship where I was not my best. And when I say this is because I don't really have that many friends at all. And maybe before, like when I did and stuff, it was never like, oh, I changed for the worst, or because I knew how to distance myself from such situations. So besides the fact that like I have strict parents, I also had some self-respect and dignity. Alhamdulillah. So I never really changed for the worse. Did I have bad friendships? Yeah, but it didn't necessarily make me like a bad person. Actually, it did the opposite. It made me a better person, because the thing is, what I love so much about hardships is that I'm able to become a better, wiser, smarter person each single time, like every single time. So for me, I would say like I've never really had a moment in my life where I was a like a worse person in a friendship. Maybe once, but because someone actually did like verbalize it to me, but I ended
Hmm.
up like trying to adjust things so that I don't end up hurting anybody. But other than this, like I only got better and better and better. I only evolve, guys. I'm never in a prime because every day is my prime.
Period.
Have you ever had to like fake being interested, or like not being interested in something you were actually interested in, for like to stick with friends or something because you were scared they were like gonna judge you or something?
All the time. I feel like okay, whoa. Like I feel like it's the opposite. It's like I wasn't really interested in it, but I had to fake be interested in it. Like I said before, I was always in groups where I felt excluded or like I wasn't really fitting in as much. So I had to like it's not like it was like bad things that I was like, oh, it's cool. It was like, it was like normal things. For example, it could be like an anime you watch or like a show you watch or like something this and the third, and I just didn't understand. But like of course I didn't want to be the weird one out who didn't watch anything, so I was always somebody who was like easily influenced, like a people pleaser. So being serious, like I was always trying to like say, oh yeah, like oh that's cool, yeah I did that, this that and the third. But I soon learned like here, like I don't have to be doing all that. If I didn't watch something, I didn't. And I realized like here actually I realized like I learned to say no, you know. I feel like that's so important, and I actually got this advice from somebody in the masjid back in New York. I low-key forgot who. I'm Dory. Short term memory loss. But I remember they were like, don't be afraid to say no. Oh, I know who it is. Shout out Rokia, best person on the planet. Anyway, she was like, don't be afraid to say no. And that advice kind of stuck with me. And it's kind of like niche, it's kind of like cliche, like what? But it's so important. Like I always knew I was always somebody that like even if I didn't want to do something, I would still say yes. And I always feared saying no to people when they asked me to do things because like, that's just who I was, a people pleaser. But here I kind of learned that it's okay to say no, even if it's something that, even if it's something that meant okay, this is gonna sound mean. Like if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. I can say no. I'm allowed to say no. And it doesn't make me any less of a friend. It doesn't make me love you less. It just I can say no when I want to say no. And if that's something that I feel like people should understand, like don't be afraid to say no in a situation where you should say no or where you want to say no. And it kind of helps your communication skills, and that's something that I've been struggling with for a long time. So I feel like yeah, I feel like that was the growth there. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about like growth. I feel like this is somewhere where a lot of people need to hear. And I kind of want to ask you like what happens when you start growing but your friendships don't? Like is outgrowing a friend a natural part of life or failure to communicate?
To be honest, like it's like weeds, that you find when they grow. What you do? What do? You cut them.
Cut them off.
Okay, and that probably sounds like really harsh, but I'm not saying like, oh, I'm never gonna speak to you again in my life. No, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that at all. I'm just saying that if I'm trying to be person A, you're trying to be
Mhm.
person C, but person A and person C don't get along, why would you put A and C together? You know? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like for your closer friends, you do kind of have to have a similar goal. Not this exact same, but something similar. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think a Muslim and a Satanist can be friends. In my like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yo, her
And
examples be bad funny, bro.
I mean, if y'all got it, if it makes you laugh, then that's the goal. That's great. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like outgrowing your friends is normal. I'll be honest with you guys, like, especially if you're young, which I'm assuming people who are listening are young. It's beyond normal because we're at a stage where we are growing as people. We're trying to find out what we like, trying to evolve, trying to be the best version of ourselves. Well, I hope anyway. If you're not trying to be the best version of yourself, start. But the point is, it's normal and it's okay to distance from your friends. It doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that if you both want to flourish in the domain that you guys want, if separation helps, then so be it. And I feel like it's we need to start realizing and maturing that that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, let's say if I'm outgrowing a friendship, but I'm trying, mind you, like, let's say I'm gonna try a little bit to, guide her to the right way, try to talk to her about it. You know what I mean? Try to just ease her into to grow with me, right? Because that's what's a point of a friendship. But if at some point she just is just dragging me down, at the end of the day, I'm responsible for my future and I have things to do. No one's gonna pick up my feet and carry me to the finish line. So that's how it is. And I just want to emphasize that if you're outgrowing a friendship, you can still be like friends. You can still talk here and there, chit chat if you want. You know, you don't have to end on bad terms. But don't feel bad if you gotta cut someone off because you realize that you're going somewhere that they're not trying to go. You're trying to go to New York, they want to go to Afghanistan. You gotta part ways. You just
Period. Honestly, like I honestly agree with you. And honestly, I kind of wanted to like say it on here because like I read a book before called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna West, and in that book it was low key talking about that like when you're cutting off a friendship or like when you know that you're outgrowing a person, you can continue to grow and leave that person, and it doesn't necessarily mean like what Yasmin said, like they can still have conversations here and there, but you know that you guys don't look at life the same way. And it's not, I know that this is gonna kind of contradict what we said before about how like two friends can be opposites, but it's not like that. It's more like, for example, if you know your friend doesn't really have any lifelong goals and like staying with them can kind of affect you in your life because they're doing things that kind of like it kind of brings you both down, and you've grown from that, you've grown from like a friendship of that, then leave, and it's okay to say hi and bye from here and there. And it doesn't necessarily, it's a way of life as well. It's not like something that's going to affect it or destroy it. It's a way of life. You're going to necessarily outgrow people, and that's okay. You're going to meet other people, more mature people in your life that you can kind of bond with and have similar interests and start building something with. But then you're always going to have those friends back there who um were for the different version of you. And it's something I think Farima said in the collab the other time, is like you meet people at different versions of yourself. I think it's
Mhm.
something like this where it's like, for example, like you're going to have to meet people in different versions of yourself. And you're just having a new version of yourself. So you're going to meet people of that version. And that's something that we all need to understand, that once you find a friend like that who is mature, who is emotionally intelligent, who has the same goals as you, you guys are going to strive, and maybe you guys will even outgrow each other, and that's fine. There's no beef with that. And I hate that people think that like cutting off people is beef. It's not anything like this. If anything, 99% of the time that a person cuts you off is because of them and them wanting to grow and get out there. It's not because of what you did. It's not generally how you are as a friend. Sometimes it's just because that friend just outgrown you, and that's fine. That means you're gonna find someone else that can probably be compatible with you. And when you're learning to grow, when you're ready to like get out there, you're going to find new ones, and that's okay. But the people who are really close, who have the same goals, who really like stick with each other, those are friendships you need to cherish so much. And that's a friendship that can really like extend into something more. So I hope you guys can necessarily understand that, and I hope I made sense.
Yeah, you did. You did. Do you think that we should normalize letting people go when we've outgrown them, or just distancing ourselves from people when there's just no point of this friendship at all anymore?
Honestly, yes, I feel like we should normalize that. I feel like that ties into what I said before. It's like if you honestly feel like you outgrown that person, and you know that being with that person won't really do anything or won't benefit from you in any way, I feel like we can distance ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that, and there shouldn't be no rule on that, because it's like people have different friendships. People, there's always going to be Like I feel like people just base their friendships off of social media, and we should get into that soon as well. But it's like you're not gonna have that same friend that you see on social media. You know, like those two best friends that see each other for a long time. Maybe it's gonna be different. Maybe you guys outgrown each other, but don't force yourself into a friendship where you know you don't fit in, where you know you've outgrown it so much. And actually, like I feel like I have situations like this. Like I had friends before who were just so like I'm not gonna say too much, but like I guess we can say like they just had so much like dark jokes and all of this, and like at a certain point in time, I was just like, yeah, like it's not funny anymore. You know, like all the dark jokes, all the things like this they're saying, like I don't laugh from it anymore. Like it's disgusting at this point, and I learned to grow from that. Like I don't. At first, it was really hard on myself because you know these are people that I was hanging out with a long time, like for the longest. But then, like leaving them made me find other friends that were making me feel more like safer, making me feel like okay, like I'm cool, and I can joke with them on things that are actually funny. Not gonna lie. So yeah, for me, I feel like that's the most important thing as well. And okay, I have a question for you. Can friends pull you closer or further from yourself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Absolutely, they can do both, but they're not supposed to do both. They're supposed to pull you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have friends that are pulling you away from God, from your creator, this is horrible. This is bad, actually. Because at the end of the day, God over everything, I do not care. Like, God over everything, even, honestly, even over yourself. I don't even play that, right? But if you have friends that are pulling you away, that's just, what is there to think about? Like, what is there to think about? There's literally nothing to think about, because at the end of the day, you need to have a certain environment where they're gonna bring you closer to God. They're gonna, because being closer to God is success in this dunya, in this worldly life, and in the akhirah, the next life. Why would your own friends not even want that for you? Because that's crazy, right? Stick with people that will pull you closer to God. If they're not doing that, then stay away. Stay away. Like, I'm not even joking. Something that we don't talk about enough, I feel like, is comparison though. Because I feel like it's really up to you to find out yourself about how what friendships you like and you need in your life. You need to get to know yourself so that you know, okay, like this is what I want slash need, this is what I want slash need, this is something that's not gonna fit into my type of life. I feel like the last thing that we should be comparing to is social media. Because listen, guys, social media is fake. Plastic surgeon type fake. I'm telling you guys, like, social media is fake. Yes, obviously, alhamdulillah, like technology, it has good and bad sides to it. Even though there's like a lot of bad sides right now, there's always a good side, and you can always get ideas. But do not sit here and be easily influenced by stuff that you see on social media, because it is fake. It is not real. And even if they could sit here and be like, oh my God, guys, it's the realest advice that I could give, you still, at the end of the day, don't know what, if it's true or not. In my opinion, what I do, and I feel like this works best, is like you take bits and pieces that work for you. You don't need to be like, okay, you know what, she said this, I'm gonna have to do this. Be like, okay, you know what? I like this like resonates with my life, but this, it's not really who I am, so I'm not gonna take that. It's about taking bits and pieces from things, depending on your situation, in my opinion.
But how would you relate that back to like how your surrounding makes you? Like how would you think social media is basically influencing friendships in a way?
Because the thing is, like, on social media, everyone's life is so public now. You see, like, friendships, marriages, whatever, but we're talking about friendships, right? You can see friendships on social media that be like, oh my God, that's my best friend, that's my for lifer, yada yada yada. She does this for me, she steals for me. I'm like, she does what now? Like, what are we talking about? What do you mean? What? Or, and I feel like sometimes social media, they be like flexing, maybe quote unquote flexing their big friendships, like their big friend groups with like 10 people, but you don't need all that. You just need good quality friends. You don't need to have like 50 friends that will text you here and there, and you're like not even their fifth option. Why would you even want to go through something like that? Mind you, especially with the trios, the it's a lot of stuff, because at the end of the day, comparison is the thief of joy.
For me, I was talking mostly about like kind of like what you said as well, but at the same time, I feel like how friendships are kind of transactional now. I feel like it's only for the media and the clicks, but when is like the time where you actually hung out with a friend and it was not to kind of like post about, it was not to kind of like just take pictures, all of this. I feel like we kind of lost the meaning of like friendship in terms of hangouts and all of this because it just feels kind of like, oh, let's do take pictures, for the plot, let's do all this, have our Instagram page up, all this. But like I feel like when was the last time you really had like a deep conversation with a friend and like you guys weren't on your phones or like I feel like it's not to say that take your friendships as a, like a romantic partner, but it's to say as like friendships matter a lot as well. I feel like people forget that because you can have a romantic partner, you can be like with somebody, but you also need that friend as well. You also need people to encourage you, inspire you. And like Yasmin said, you don't get that from social media as much because social media, it's fake. It's really fake. No, your favorite YouTuber, can go be going through something as well, but like you can't just take her life and put it into yours and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. No, fantasize your life, like literally revamp, no, not revamp your life, but like romanticize your life. What are you doing on the days with when you're with yourself? How are you romanticizing your life when you're with your friends? It doesn't have to be the same way it looks on Pinterest or Instagram or TikTok. It can just be you guys and your friends just chilling and hanging out, and it doesn't need to be posted 24/7, and I feel like that's something that we all do. Like I'm also a victim of this. Everybody kind of is, because it's like of course you would want to post like 2 3 pictures with your friends, like it's cute, but at the same time, like don't forget like the main point of be having friends is like the hangouts, the fun, the talks, the communication. And that's something that me and Yasmin kind of like incorporated in our life, like kind of recently. It's like we've told each other, okay, yes, like we're gonna take a day where we're both like a day, no matter how busy we are, we're gonna take that day and we're gonna go eat, we're gonna talk, we're gonna like not talk about the business, we're not gonna talk about the podcast, we're just gonna chill. And that's something that can actually help, and it's not something that I feel like you guys gonna take and say, okay, well, you don't want to post our friends. Like, what the hell? Like, what is she saying? Nah, I'm just saying, like, kind of chill on it. Kind of like take that chance to just take a break and just have like, when was the last time you really had a deep conversation with your friend? There's probably some issues that you have with your friend that you're not communicating with. There's probably some things that you guys are not telling each other and things like this. And like you said about the big friend groups, like I feel like that's also a problem in itself because one thing that like a lot of people don't say, and I kind of have a problem, is like small friend groups inside big friend groups. I feel like that should not be normalized. Like I feel like having a small friend group and a big friend group, it's like what was the point of the big friend group? It's like all these separate group chats, all these big friends, and none of you guys really like each other through and through. It's a lot of drama in one, and it's like you gotta ask yourself at some point, like this has to stop becoming like a high school like friendship. It has to be something that's meaningful in your life. Because I feel like at one point you really got to start seeing your friendships as something where it's like, is it meaningful instead of just like a high school friendship? I don't know how to explain it. It's no longer like kiki haha. We're going into the real world. Are you gonna be beneficial for me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not in a way where it's like, oh, beneficial, like, oh, you have to give me something, but in a way it's like, are we beneficial to each other? Like, are you doing good for me? Am I going doing good for you? Am I inspiring you? That's when you have to start looking at friendships in that sort of point of view, especially for us, the younger generation. We have to get to that point where we start looking at our friendships like, is this good for me or is this bad for me? So that's just something I wanted to kind of like incorporate there a little bit. And like I said, and I'll continue saying, I hope I do make sense. And yeah.
You know, that's so true though. Like you were talking about how we could literally hang out, post on social media. We look like we're probably best friends. We for lifers. But behind closed doors, we don't even talk like that for real. And I'm a victim to this actually. I'm not even gonna lie. Like there was a phase, bro, where I'm not even gonna lie, like I had a whole like two highlights of my friends, like just posting. I posted them personally, and mind you, we like some of them we weren't even close like that for real. Like I barely talked to you, but here you are all up in my highlight on my Instagram. Yeah, we were good friends, but like it's like we really. I feel like now in Canada, or like when I first came here, that's when it really started being like that. Where like I go out with like some people, we're all like oh hugging, doing this and that, but I barely speak to you. Matter of fact, like some people be scared to even text you, and whole time like I'm all up on your story though. It's true though, like even you really gotta have friends that like there's like a reason to be friends with that. You can't like I feel like as a growing person, like this is kind of like that's the point a little bit. As a growing woman and as a man, you need to have a point for everything. You have to have intention for everything. You cannot sit here and just do things for the sake of doing them. But that's my opinion. You really cannot be doing things for doing anything. Like everything that you do must have a purpose and a reason to why you do that thing. You cannot sit here and be doing whatever, because then you're gonna get whatever results, and you're not gonna be happy with whatever results. But then you're gonna sit here and blame the universe and your bad luck instead of blaming the fact that you didn't do the right thing.
Period.
When you're the thing is the most important part though is like you will obviously throughout your life have friends where they're not your cup of tea anymore, I guess, and stuff like that, but or friends that they kind of like they obviously no one's perfect, so they're gonna sit here and not disrespect you intentionally but accidentally, like they're gonna do something you don't like. How do you go about setting the boundaries without like being rude though, you know what I mean?
To set a boundary without being cold, I feel like you can just kind of start a conversation with like hey, I want to communicate something, like I feel like once you I feel like it shouldn't well, it's not going to be cold no matter how what way you kind of approach it if you're with a good friend, because I feel like with a good friend, like you can approach it any way you want and it'll be kind of okay. Like obviously I'm gonna be like, hey, like, or like kind of like in a negative way where you're constantly blaming the other person. No, you talk about the problem itself, not the person. Okay, so for example, if I say that I want to hang out with Yasmin more, okay, I'm not gonna be like, you barely hang out with me, like you're always out there in them streets, like all this and the third. Like obviously not. I would be like, hey, I kind of been feeling like we're not hanging out a lot more, and I just want to like plan a date where we can really hang out. That's perfect. That's beautiful. I talk about what my feelings were, I talk about the problem, and I found a solution. I feel like that's a beautiful way to communicate something without feeling fake. Because, well, it's something useful to use. And honestly, I feel like there's a lot of people that I'm glad you asked that question because, like, it's a simple question, but it's something that not a lot of people can do, you know? And don't be afraid to, like, communicate with your friends. Like, you shouldn't be afraid. If you have a good friendship, you shouldn't be afraid of how to communicate it at all.
I'm gonna give y'all a story about how our friendship Loki was like, oh, like we really didn't like we were in a trio Loki, but we didn't really talk like that. What happened was like I saw she did something that I didn't like, and I was low key I'm because it was like thing after thing after thing. Not saying that she did a lot of things, but it was thing after thing after thing. So I was like, you know what? Like this is the time to actually just release them. No, but
And cancel, like, she's trying to cancel me at this point. Like, listen, guys, I was not doing crazy things, okay?
no, no, no.
It
She's a
was
great friend. There's a reason we're still friends right now. But the point is, like, I decided I was gonna release her, so like stop being friends with her. That same day, I wasn't really talking to her at all. Like, I was actually minding my business. I wasn't speaking to anybody. She's like, "Are you okay? You haven't spoken to me all day." Yada yada yada. I'm like, "I'm fine," and she's like, "We are not done. We're like, we literally." She literally was like. She was literally like, after school we're gonna talk, and we ended up taking like the same bus and stuff. Even like when I reached my stop, she stopped with me, even though like she had to go, and we ended up talking about it, right? And I ended up like communicating with her about what happened and stuff, and that's when we both realized, because as I mentioned, we didn't really speak much, so we didn't have common communication. So that was the point where we were both like, damn, like we both the same people, like because the thing is, we both realized that like we both want a solid friendship, and we both had the same complaints, actually, not gonna lie. So we were like, you know what, we're gonna step up our game, yada yada yada, we're gonna lock in, and that's literally where our friendship just exploded into a bunch of happiness, joy, growth, and alhamdulillah, I'm really grateful to have Fatu in my life. And I'm gonna be honest, a little goes a long way, because just because she like showed me that she cared, like that's the only, like the reason I really opened up to her. She showed me that she actually cared, because yeah, she showed me that she actually cared, and I'm really grateful that she ended up doing that. So now we have a beautiful friendship and this beautiful podcast, and she's ungrateful, guys. So you know what, this gonna be your last
Um.
time talking to me.
Anyway, so honestly, I'm so honestly, yeah. Like I love that you told that story because I feel like it's the best story to tell as of right now because it kind of like ties into what we're doing, and as well as like I appreciate you so much because like oh my god, girl, like what do you mean? And obviously, yes, like I'm not gonna let, but not gonna let. It took her a while to tell me that like what she was going through. Like I had to like low key force her. But listen, that's okay because at the end of the day, she still did. And it wasn't like that was like I also wanted to like kind of like say there that that was not the only time where we had like a dispute, you know, like there's always gonna there was like not always but like there were other times as well where like either I did something or either she did something and we talked about it, and it didn't make our friendship any less. It didn't. Instead it grew even more because we opened up to each other about a lot of things that were like coming to us and that were harming us or like that make us feel less than we are. And the more you communicate with your friend, the more you communicate the problems and all of this, the more your friendship will continue to grow. And in that friendship, literally, like I'm telling you, you will get so much blessings from it. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you and your friend. Like honestly, it was really a blessing in itself to have Yasmin as a friend. I feel like a lot of like I was telling her this morning, like you like this friendship, like I was telling you this morning, like your friendship is really different. Like I feel like don't compare our friendship to you guys, okay? Like it's not to say like, oh, I'm gonna be exactly like Fatou and Yasmin. A lot of friendships are different. Maybe you guys communicate in different ways. Maybe the way you guys do things are different. But the main point in what we're trying to say here is that make sure you guys are really for each other. And it's not to say that, oh, even though you guys have opposite opinions, opposites attract. Okay, that's good. But are you guys really having like the same mentality, this emotional maturity? If you communicate to your friend, is she actually listening? Is he actually listening? If you're sad, can you call them? If you're if you're happy about something, is there that is can you tell them about your happiness? That is what a friendship is. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Your Surroundings Make You, and I hope you guys learned a little bit. Please take the advice that we're giving you. You know, it's very important to beneficial. If you don't find a friend that is going to benefit you in the akhirah, then what makes you think they're benefits of you in the dunya? You understand? So I hope you guys understand, and I love you guys all very much. We love you guys all very much. Oh, you don't love them. You're making faces now. Okay, so Yasmin does not love you guys.
No, we love them. No, we love you guys.
Thank you, silent seekers, for listening to The
The Silent
Silent Path.
Path.